would you like to make it clear that in the round, in general, West Indian mums are no better or no worse than white mums and Anglo-Asian mums and so on?
Andrew, I've got nothing more to say.
You don't want to make that clear?
Andrew, I've got nothing more to say.
So you still think West Indian mums
I've got
are the best?
nothing more to say.
Okay.
Well, hi guys, welcome to the channel. It's great to have you back, and thank you for joining us again. Much appreciated if you have recently subscribed and liked any of the videos. I'm looking at another slightly retro clip today to talk about. It's a classic. I am a fan of Andrew Neil, even though I'm not a fan of Andrew Neil at certain times. Certainly didn't like what he did at GB News, but in general, I think he has good intentions for the country. I know he's a bit of a Trump hater, but I still think he's got some good comments. He does seem to slightly understand what's going on in the country at ground level more than a lot of politicians do, I feel. But this was an interesting little clip regarding Diane Abbott when she just run for party leader. It's quite a while ago, but it's an absolute evisceration, and it shows a typical sort of lefty view of things when they get near power or when they think they are better than everybody else. And Diane Abbott always gets massive votes in her constituency because of the demographic. So she's been in Parliament a very long time, but this was an interesting take, and she used to be on this show quite a lot, and you thought, oh, they're quite buddy these two, but wow, this was some takedown from Andrew Neil, and it just went on, and he was very unhappy about a certain thing that she'd said about black mums, sort of saying that white mums wouldn't do the same. You'll see what I mean when you look at the video. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Now, Dan, let's look at what you've been doing by deserting poor Michael on the sofa here to run as Labour leader. We discover you now claimed £1,100 on taxis, including an individual claim for £192. Is that acceptable for an inner London MP?
The 190 figure is, I think, a dozen taxi bills.
You put in one, you didn't designate.
Not more maths from Diane. We've heard enough maths from Diane, I think.
Each individual one.
Well, no. When they will publish online the scanned receipts, and you'll see it's just a series of receipts for 15.
But you just put in one bid for 192.
No. I add it up.
Do you think the taxpayer should be paying over £1,000 for you to run around London in taxis?
I don't run around London. What I do is a couple of times a night I take a cab home to Hackney, which costs about £20. Yeah, a couple of.
Why do we have to pay for that? Why don't you just dip into your own pocket?
Because
you're well paid.
Because I don't do it until it's late at night, and in fact I don't do it anymore at all now because thanks to Ken Livingstone. No, thanks to Ken Livingstone, we've opened a new East London line, and there's a tube station at the end of my road. Before the nearest tube station was Liverpool Street.
We had to pay for your taxi rides.
Well, it is late at night, and it is only 2 or 3 cabs. When
I go home late at night, I have to pay myself.
Well, Andrew, it's not unusual if you work late for any employer for them to help you with your transport home.
Okay. In justifying your decision, which we talked about before, don't want to dwell on that, to send your son to a private school, you said, quote, West Indian mums will go to the wall for their children. So black mothers love their kids more than white?
Andrew, we've just had, I think, one of the most important budgets in a generation. I've said everything I'm going to say about where I sent my son to school.
No, I'm not. That's what I want to. I don't understand this quote. No. Supposing Michael had said, white mums will go to the wall for their children.
Andrew, I've got nothing new to say.
Why would you say that West Indian mums will go to the wall for their children?
Andrew.
Isn't that a racist remark?
Andrew, I've got nothing new to say. Let's talk about the most important budget.
No, I'm talking about what you've said. If West Indian mums are as wonderful as you say, why are there so many dysfunctional West Indian families in this country? And so many West Indian young men end up in a life of crime and gangs.
I actually run an awards programme and have done for many years for London's top achieving black children. And actually, Andrew, there's lots of black boys out there working hard and doing extremely well.
Clearly not enough of them for you to send your kid to the local school. I mean, you didn't want him to go to a school full of kids that had been brought up by West Indian mums.
No, actually, under a Labour government, because this all happened 9 years ago, now, it's in that time, Labour's built 5 new secondary schools in Hackney, and I wouldn't have to make the same decision.
Would you like to make it clear that, in the round, in general, West Indian mums are no better or no worse than white mums and Anglo-Asian mums and so on?
Andrew, I've got nothing more to say.
You don't want to make that clear?
Andrew, I've got nothing more to say.
So you still think West Indian mums
I've got
are the best?
nothing more to say.
Okay. When we look at the position...
So there you go. Interesting exchange was that. And it does go on, but it's about nuclear armaments and nuclear disarmament and things like that. But it was just interesting. It was, imagine, a white MP saying that, and what would have been said about that. They would probably have to resign. They would have probably had to resign if they had said those words. But no, they just get away with it, don't they? And this isn't a black or white thing. I'm just saying, she's allowed to say that, and yet, if it had been a white MP and said the same thing about her kids or about white mothers, can you imagine the furore that would have happened and would have ensued? It would have been unbelievable. It would have been terrible. There'd have been such a backlash on that person. People have had to step down for a lot less than that, in terms of making comments that are taken the wrong way or taken the right way or whatever. But that comment from Diane just sort of typifies what she is. She's a champagne socialist. She's got up the greasy pole, for various reasons. We all know about her and Corbyn and things like that, and she's managed to stay in Parliament for a very long time. She's been kicked out of the Labour Party. She's been brought back into the Labour Party. She's just a despicable person. She's had so many car crashes on so many TV channels and news channels and interviews. She's a liability for the party, and she's probably a bit anti-Semitic too. She's definitely a Corbyn sort of left progressive type. Probably not a big fan of Starmer. I think Starmer's really wanted to try and get rid of her, to be honest, because she's so embarrassing. But, geez, I thought that was a really interesting little clip, and I've not seen that for a very long time. And it just sort of brought it back and typifies the double standards and hypocrisy that these left-wing MPs have when it comes to real life. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Much appreciated. I will be creating more content going forward in the next few months, next few weeks, next few months. I hope you'll come and join us on the channel. Growing steadily now, which is great. Thanks very much for joining us today. Please like and subscribe, and I will join you on the next one. Thank you.